Today is Tuesday, May 16th, and you're listening to the Beer Temple Podcast.
Remember, this is what we wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again. Remember, this is what we wanted. Remember, this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again.
Hello, and welcome to the Beer Temple Podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike Schalau of Is Was Brewing. I'm now here with your other co-host, Chris Quinn, and honorary Fade Master for the day.
Yeah, I don't think I needed to fade that down. I think the music just kind of ends, doesn't it? Or
Serge always fades it down.
Oh, okay.
That's not how Mom does it.
Okay, you're probably right in that case.
That's what we call him, the Fade Master.
We are recording, though, most importantly.
It looks like we're recording, so that's good.
There is an SD card in.
There is. It would have been great if you just popped it out by feeling for it.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
And we didn't notice that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You're muted. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Well, you haven't been introduced yet. So you know the. So what's up, Mike? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
Busy. A lot of crazy projects coming at once.
Yeah.
So some stuff I can't really talk about yet, to be honest, because it's all very nascent.
You could tell me, but then you'd have to kill me.
I would, yeah. Well, I have to bleep it out once and then keep talking about the rest of the show.
Yeah, kind of like what happened recently.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me either.
I wasn't referencing anything.
Yeah, all those, that was definitely all supposed to make it out there on the air. So, I will say one thing. We've had several people who did hear through to the end of the show because they left Apple podcast reviews saying that they made it to the end of the show.
They did.
And you're saying that we offered them merch if they did? Is that true?
Well, sometimes you don't think anyone's listening, and then they are listening. So I guess we did offer them merch.
All right. So
nothing's a legally binding contract, though, right?
That's true. So we'll get to that in a moment. Let's just remember to get back to it because we should introduce our
I know who's not getting merch, though.
Nick Pankey.
No, Nick Pankey can get merch.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully you have double XL.
Yeah, we've got Big Nick Pankey from Revolution Brewing and longtime friend of the show. What's up, dude? Been a while.
Yeah.
First time here.
First time not in Bridgeport.
Right.
Community of the future.
It's been a while.
Oh, nice.
So,
yes.
But
you've been here quite a bit. I mean, you were
Beer
here
Temple.
earlier today.
The 10th anniversary party.
And you were here, yesterday? Yesterday.
Oh, yeah, yesterday. Just stopped by as well.
Yeah.
I did not have a beer, though, yesterday.
No, you didn't. You just
I did have some mezcal.
Yeah. True. Lou Bank was here.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, he talked about you and him wanting to go down
one
to
of the projects that I have to figure out when we can actually do it.
Yeah, he wants to take you to Mexico to do some thing.
Got people want to take me all over the world, maybe.
That's true. Man, must be nice. Go jet setting like you.
Yeah, I got a lot of money to go jet setting.
You're going to California in less than a month.
That's right, jet setting with you.
Well, you're not supposed to say that part, but yeah, you're going to California.
You're also going to California.
That's
It's
true.
a separate trip.
No.
Yeah, okay.
But it detracts from my story of you being a jet setter if I'm going with you.
Going to Asheville at some point.
You are?
Nice.
Yeah. We
Wow.
got invited to Burn Pile.
What's that?
Burials, music festival / beer festival.
Cool.
Mostly because of the Zombie Dust Radio are, pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. How come I never get invited to that sort of stuff?
Well, you
How
don't,
come
have, a, you don't have a brewery.
True. True. Yeah. Zombie Dust Radio are. Well, hey, I mean, they are far ahead of this show in terms of number of episodes.
Way ahead.
Yeah.
Just been banging them out.
Yeah. So that's cool. You're going to Burn Pile when you go to Asheville.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's...
Have you ever been?
No, never been to Asheville. So it should be fun. Gonna drive down.
I'll bleep that out if we shouldn't be talking about it. Don't you worry.
Whatever.
Trust
they'll
me.
they'll tell me I'm kicked out of the festival for talking about it too early. I think multiple people.
Number
there
one rule about burn pile.
Listen to the show on a regular basis.
Don't talk about burn pile.
Right. At least not this early.
I just drove down there last fall. It's pretty awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, I
mean,
didn't.
it's worth it.
I
just
didn't
for
actually know
Sierra
where
Nevada.
Asheville was.
Oh, like
I
what?
thought it was on the coast. So.
Oh no, it's in the
was like-
mountains.
Yeah, so I'm excited to. I've never been to that part of the country really. I spent some time in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's like not the same thing.
Asheville.
I found out.
I prefer to Nashville personally.
I was in Nashville a long time ago, like over 10 years ago, before it became what it is now.
I was there last week.
Oh,
Bachelor party.
well, yeah. You're getting married again already?
I flew in for 36 hours.
Oh, for a bachelor party?
No.
Oh, no, you're there for CBC.
Yeah.
We'll get to that
right.
too.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get to that too. Right, I forgot CBC. It's there. It's so relevant
We're
to
real
me.
insiders.
Yeah.
We're so inside we stay outside the inside.
It's so relevant to me. I scheduled my 10-year anniversary the day that CBC started.
And
I did it on
and-
purpose.
and
I
you-
mean, I didn't. I knew it. It did not affect me.
And
doing
I
it.
had no idea even as it was happening. So
Yeah.
I've never
Right.
been to CBC.
While Chris was on the news, I was probably getting ready for my flight.
I haven't talked about that yet. That has not made the airwaves. I have not talked about
Do you want to talk
that
about it?
harrowing experience. Well, yeah, we'll get to. We
Okay.
got to get to all this stuff. We
Right.
got to tease it all. But
Sorry.
Asheville, you got to get to. Well, you still have a ways before you're there, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
it's
number
not
one
till,
is going to
like,
be
the fall.
obviously. You're supposed to say burial, but everyone knows that the real number one draw.
Is burial. Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Loser. Don't invite him now because that is a lame response. Sierra Nevada, baby, Mills River.
Never even
You're
heard,
gonna have to
never
go.
heard of it.
You have to get a VIP tour. You have to have someone actually walk you around and tell you about the place because it will
How do I
blow your
do
mind.
that?
I don't know. Maybe they listen to the show.
I
We'll see.
doubt it. At least I hope not.
Yeah, you got to
Sorry,
go there.
Ken.
Yeah, it's great. But there's
I'm
a bunch
just
of
gonna
other
come on here and
places,
talk
too.
about how it was bullshit that they're. I'm gonna have to bleep that out, Serge.
I'm not
That their
bleeping
tap
it
room closed at 10 p.m.
Right, exactly. Some people, you know how when like I'm the pollo makes a beer with chicken in it, it's cool, but if anybody else does it, it's lame.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with many things about Sierra Nevada. First of all, another thing we need to talk about is how
we buried the lead, dude.
they're bringing back.
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if we have, but
The number one IPA in America. Baby,
we're gonna get
in
to
the
that.
world.
Oh yeah. No, this is a tease. This
Oh,
is just
sorry.
the appetizer. That's the red meat for the
Getting-
episode.
Getting too psyched
So
up
much.
For this. Sorry.
So, you know how we've been talking about how everything's going IPA, and that people have had these like amazing, just styles that they've created over the years, and that they're kind of like slowly killing. We had a whole show about
Mild.
Sierra Nevada about that, and Lagunitas. Guess who is bringing back a whole bunch of their classics? And it says back by fan demand or popular demand, something like that.
They do
Sierra
listen,
Nevada.
They do listen to the show.
Ruthless Rye. Summerfest is back. Oktoberfest is back.
Can we get our good friend Matt Brindleson at Firestone Walker to do that and bring back Pale
Right.
47 again?
Dude, I mean, listen,
real.
they're a hop hunter, which is like one of my favorite. It was only here for like a hot minute, but and I think Nooner Pills might be back
Ooh,
too.
That was a sneaky good one too.
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know if Keller Weiss is coming back, but Summerfest is in. Like we have it in 6-packs right now, which is cool. We have kegs of Ruthless Rye. Like, can we just take a moment and say how awesome it is that they're giving this a try? Like,
Yeah.
hey, if it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
sell, like whatever. Like they tried, but like, what other big brewery is going in that direction? Everyone is so afraid, I think, to do that. But I'm glad that they're like putting out a rye, and I don't know if autumnal. I don't think a tumbler, I think is what they call it. I don't think that's coming back. But
I think there's like, with so much data available to companies now, it's really easy to just follow the data. Now, data is like super important if you have access to it to to follow and understand and see the trends of. But there's also like part of it is the reason that you exist as a craft brewery is that there's a human element to it, right? A human element that doesn't always show up in that data because the data is kind of self-perpetuating, right?
Yeah.
If you only get one SKU into the grocery store, then that SKU is going to look better than all your other SKUs.
Right. If everybody's only making hazy's going to be huge.
Right. And then just like it just keeps echoing. It just keeps compounding on itself. And then you have to be like, are we actually, a company that makes a plethora of things, or are we just an IPA company?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you make a choice of like, no, we actually make all these other styles and things, and we want to be known as a brewery that actually has creative ideas and
Kirk's
makes
coming
these
in. He
other
wants to
styles.
try
of
some of
beer.
this scratch we have open.
Sorry, I got distracted.
No, it's okay. Just somebody's head poking in.
Yeah.
I accidentally drank some of yours. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well, you have your own glass.
Oh, I know, but you put
But yeah, I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah.
Because like if all you do, like I have a friend who works at a place that's very
He spends all this trouble being quiet and then does that.
that's kind of like in between being a very data-driven company and a more curated company, and they ebb and flow back and forth of like, why is this the only thing on the shelf? It's like, well, the data says that's the best-selling thing. Well, but then why do people come here?
Well, let's hope it does well. And for the people out there who are listening, I'm guessing a lot of you people are the ones who are worried about this monoculture of beer style and craft beer, or maybe not a monoculture, but what's it called when an oligarchy, an oliculture, where it's just like a few people, a few styles. And if you see one on the shelf, like, I don't know, like kind of vote with your pocketbook a little bit. Don't just be like, oh, that's awesome to see.
Right.
Now I'm going to go get this other Pilsner. Like, go buy it.
yeah.
Buy it. Buy six
right.
of them and drink all six of them and tell your friends to do the same if you actually care.
Right.
Like,
Well,
it's a six-pack. It's not that big of an investment.
And I kind of like the beginning and the middle of this kind of winnowing down of style. A lot of people would be like, oh, we're discontinuing our golden ale or whatever, and then everyone would be like, oh, that's my favorite beer you make. And like the secret thing with people, like, it can't be your favorite beer because you didn't buy it. No one bought enough of it for it to be like your favorite beer. So the only way to get breweries to actually make the things that you claim are your favorite beers is to drink them. so
Hey, surprise, surprise.
yeah, buy them and drink them.
for this, reintroduction of styles, is there a beer that they did not release? Like what, because we talk about it all the time at work. Like if we're going to sell a seasonal, what is that replacing on the shelf of a retailer? So like
Right.
maybe Sierra is big enough that it doesn't.
Or are they doing like mostly draft of it
Like,
and send it
I'm
to
just
places
wondering
like
how
this across the country?
Yeah.
Or like
Probably not going to see it in a Jewel, but you could see it in a.
I can't imagine there being like,
Temple.
we should kill hazy little thing. You know what we should put back in there? Ruthless Rye.
Right. I think so what they're done, it's like called like a fan, it's like a mixed pack fan pack.
Oh,
where that's
okay,
how it's in
that's
package.
Can you like
pack.
strap
Fanny
it to your
pack?
waist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So you that's how you buy them.
Called fashion.
Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
trademark that idea,
You
guys.
you buy it as a fanny pack.
Right. All right. Shut the podcast down. We got to talk to a patent attorney.
But then you can buy draft individually of any of them as well. So
Mixed 12? Mixed 12 pack? Or
Yeah.
Cans.
Yeah. Mixed 12. And then but like Summerfest is just a 6-pack, and that wasn't around last year. So I don't know what that took the place of, or if they have kind of spun off like Hazy Little as its own, like kind of it runs on a different track and it has its own seasonals, which I would be cool. I mean, I'm totally fine with that. Just keep the other stuff too. Like I get, you got to keep the lights on. If Hazy, every time you put out a new Hazy Little, it's like killing. Like you got to keep doing that. And I understand that there's difficulties with us. We don't have to go down that road. I just wanted to say it's awesome. It's cool that it's coming from somebody who seems to be more and more an industry leader the past 5 years in
just the past
not
5
following,
years.
not just following.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I feel like
They become more proactive than reactive.
they've kind of done a dip and kind of coming back where it's not that they weren't doing, it's just everybody else was doing it so much. They were just pushing the envelope, and Sierra Nevada didn't need to, maybe they could just kind of observe and see what was going on and maybe do their own thing. But now nobody's doing anything, so it means a lot when somebody like Sierra Nevada goes out and tries and does that sort of thing. I mean, they were the first big craft people to go really in on hazy. They were really early to that, and I hope that other people are seeing that Sierra Nevada's doing. I hope it does well, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Because this is what we've been asking for someone to do this, and
Right.
now they're doing it. So,
Thank you, Sierra Nevada.
yeah, thank you, Sierra Nevada.
Is there anything besides that you've had recently or are excited to have in the near future?
Gosh.
It's called hosting, baby.
Yeah. So
It's my Edmar impression.
we had the 10th anniversary.
You did?
Last 2 Sundays ago. Was it last Sunday? Oh my God. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, this past Sunday was Mother's Day.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That doesn't count then.
Come on.
Yeah.
I can see why you got confused, Nick.
Yeah. And
I couldn't remember either, to be perfectly frank.
yeah. That's why I'm a great husband and father, because I love and respect the mothers in my life, and
Son,
Didn't rely-
son, husband, father.
didn't rely at all on but whatever. I'll just keep going. I
No,
nailed
go
it.
ahead. Keep going.
Well, no, didn't at all rely on my wife to help me remember and get me stuff for my mom's birthday, which was the day after Mother's Day, and didn't at all rely on my mom to help at all for the Mother's Day stuff I did for my wife.
My mom's birthday was last week, too.
Oh, cool. My mom's birthday was this week,
Oh, Monday, right. Yeah,
Monday. Yeah. You guys really don't understand how this works, this calendar thing.
Yeah. What day is it?
Yeah. But anyway, man. So yeah, we were all there. So we should all let's see was there anything that you guys really, really enjoyed? For me, the Vera May from Hill Farmstead was just standout, stellar. Something that I hadn't had until that day, or hadn't had in a long, long time. Because some of the other stuff I had kind of tasted ahead of time, but I hadn't that one. I loved it.
Yeah, that one was excellent. The Trumer Unfiltered is just that was really so refreshing, and the From Day One, or is that what it's called? From Day One?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, drinking great, and the day was perfect. It was sunny but not hot.
Yep.
It was great.
You lucked
Great
out.
event. Yeah.
My favorite was your Beechwood collaboration. Is it Surrounded by Animals?
Outnumbered by animals.
Outnumbered by animals.
Yes, we have that on draft. I've been drinking more and more, but I think it tastes better now than it did when it first kind of came in. So
A little the edge has been.
yes, it's
sanded
rounded
down.
out a little bit, and it's tasting really good.
Nice.
Yeah, Nelson West Coast IPA. Yeah, tasting pretty tasty. Another beer that was exciting to try was the 1993 and 1983 John Courage Imperial Stouts.
Yeah.
The 93 was really pretty awesome. The 83 was great. Incredible, but it was.
I think I had blown my palate out and my brain out by the
Yeah.
time.
So thank you to
And
Be
my-
United.
And my liver out by the time.
I think I had left by that point.
Frosty at Be United had said he'd never seen them leave the facility in Connecticut. So yeah, they brought him in. They brought in just a couple special bottles, some special Dodols and stuff like that. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah, the 93 was the last year it was brewed at Barclay Perkins with Brett.
Shut up about it.
Yeah, So that was really, really, really cool because I'd wanted to have like specifically that vintage for a while. So that was really special to have. And the 83 was just like, what? They're like, yeah, we brought this too. Hopefully that bottle's still sitting around. It better be somewhere, man.
It's got to be somewhere. I was holding it for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shouldn't have this. Like,
Yeah, right.
Like it was empty. But I'm like, I'm gonna ruin this somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm gonna put it in the recycling by accident.
How about you?
I'm
Any
pretty sure I
beers that
didn't.
you? Oh, you said the Outnumbered by Animals.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I missed a lot of the stuff. I didn't come until later, kind of strategically, to be like, it's Sunday. If I show up when I should show up, I will not be doing anything Monday. And I still did very little on Monday. But
Speaking of that,
Some
so I had to be live on the air on WGN. My call time was 8:30 in the morning the next
so
day.
you also don't know how calendars work.
Right.
It's not just us. You schedule
Well,
yourself.
they
for
asked
8:30
me
in
a
the morning.
long time ago. They're like, this is the day that it's going to be.
It was your 10-year anniversary. You didn't see that coming.
Oh, I saw it coming.
Yeah, okay.
I saw it coming. I even saw it coming that night. But then when the morning hits, it's a whole nother animal. So it was top 5 worst hangovers of my life.
Top 5?
Yeah, it was bad.
It's got to be bad.
The first thing I said to another person, I was kind of groaning to myself in the morning. Margaret, my wife, woke me up, and the first thing I said was, "You have to do this for me." She's like, "What?" I was like, I can't go on the air. You have to do it. I cannot get out of bed." And she's like, "What?"
Margaret,
Then-
you told Margaret she had to.
She
do
had
it
to go
for
on TV and do it for me, and then she left, and then she came back and was like, "No."
That was on Mother's Day. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It was for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That was what the segment was about.
That would be great. She's like, my husband's too hungover to come on and do this segment.
I could not get out of bed. I had to roll and fall out of the bed and get up. It was like,
been there.
do you want me to make you some toast? I said, you saying that made my stomach just kind of jump a little bit. And then I was like, all right, I'll have a piece of toast later. And then I put a piece of the toast in my mouth. I immediately had to spit it out and was like, I'm going to throw up if that stays in my mouth. And then at that point, I needed to be there in 45 minutes. So that's where I was 45 minutes before I had to be where I needed to be. It was bad. Bad.
Can we get a clip of this?
There is apparently Tim Lang, friend of the show, has a clip of it. He sent it to me.
I'm gonna have to get this from Tim.
Yeah. Man. I will say it must have been the adrenaline because
Yeah.
I got in there and walking up into the shop because it was on an on location set thing
Oh, that's cool.
for Catherine Ann Confections, who we do some stuff with, and thank you so much for thinking of having us on. And
Try some bourbon
yeah, it was
I
their
really
brand new
prepared
spot.
for it.
It was great. No, I mean all the beers had been pre-selected and stuff like that. But they knew it was my 10th anniversary, and I think I told one of them, they're like, "Hey, how you feeling? 10th anniversary, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, you know the phrase, I feel like $1 million." And the woman goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I feel like about $100 right now." That's what I told her. She's like, "Oh, okay."
I like to imagine that they came in here and it looked like the day after a frat party in a frat house, where there's just stuff hanging from the lights.
Wild animals just roaming, or farm animals just roaming around.
Fresh is asleep on the bar with stuff drawn on his face.
Like a raccoon.
You guys didn't put the beer bong away that you're doing Verame beer bongs out
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
The second the director yells cut, Chris just collapses.
Yeah.
We have a cleaning crew who comes in every Saturday night, but I was smart enough to say, this week come in Sunday night. So
Nice.
Monday, it looked great because then I had to come into work for a tiny little bit, and then then I went right back to bed. So I had to go on TV with somebody who was talk about a morning person. This is someone who goes on the air on a morning show for a career. Anna. Chicago people know who she is. I know who she is too. I'm just not going to say anything else than her name's Anna because I know her that well.
Right. Your first name basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool.
Did she do like the Kathy Lee Griffin Hoda Kotb, like, ooh, we're drinking in the morning? Ooh.
She did a little. Yeah, she did a little. I brought the Abraxas. So it was like Mother's Day gift ideas from like local merchants was the idea. And again, thanks to Catherine Ann. And my segment was, just quick, like 1 minute or something like that. And I did Abraxas because that is literally my mom's favorite beer. She absolutely loves Abraxas. And then I did Het Anker Careless Van de Kaiser Blau.
Easy one for people to remember.
No, I didn't say the name of that one. It's made brewed once a year. It's in a big, nice cork and cage bottle. It's a dark Belgian. It's great and it goes really well with food. And then I had our boy Jacob Soprano's Floridita, which is a favorite of mine. Their rosé ale
Crusher.
I had the Fosse Fousse, a Perry made from like 200-year-old French pear trees, just like this really awesome Perry. And then the Denmark Frederiksdal, the cherry wine. Yeah. So.
Did you give it to them in the demi-john?
No, I gave it to him in that really like sexy little glass.
Bottle.
Yeah, skinny bottle. Yeah, I know. I wasn't pouring him off the demi-john in the picture. Yeah, exactly. Beer bong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perone.
Doing a Perone into Anna's mouth.
You're like, trust me, it'll be better this way if I'm a little.
Yeah.
Get my medicine.
And she wanted to try. Do you want to try one? She's like, yeah, the pear one. So we got that ready ahead of time. So probably the best one for me to have drank.
Nice.
I think.
Yeah.
That's the one that went down the easiest. So, but the adrenaline, I think it did something because I did not feel like I was going to vomit when we were on the air, which was good.
That would be real tough.
Imagine if I had, because I said to Margaret, Margaret,
pretty cool.
I said, Margaret, there's certainly not a 0% chance. I don't think it was 50, but it was probably above 25% chance. I felt like I could, at any moment, uncontrollably vomit. Boom. Bah. Yeah, just like on. It was live television too. It wasn't like taped.
Right.
No, it was live. Because they had the earpieces in and they're waiting like, all right, shh, everyone. And here we are. Like they're cutting to them live.
So did Tim Lang know you're going to be on it? Or is he just learning
I don't know.
that watches
and maybe he
WGN
just like,
morning?
yeah, he just took his phone out and just snapped a shot of it.
Amazing. I mean, I got to get this video.
It was not a video. It was a photo.
That was a photo.
But I think the video, I do have a video of it somewhere. He said, you just looked pale is what he said.
Taylor.
Unprompted, or do you like to look like I
mean,
about to spew?
you just looked pale after having been out in the sun for an entire day.
That's better than looking really red, though, right?
It's true. Yeah.
That's when people were like, why are you wearing like long sleeves? And I'm like, well, because I burn.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the next day when I was terribly hungover on WGN Live talking about Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fond memories. That's how memories are made.
Yeah.
True for fear and bodily discomfort.
Anyway, we were talking about Nashville, right?
CBC.
Yeah, you're there for CBC,
World
man.
Beer Cup.
Do you go every year? Last couple of years?
No,
You've
I actually
been to
did
a bunch.
I didn't go with work this year because I went last year. But I had a friend in Nashville that I had already like planned to go visit as part of this. So I was like, you know what? I'm going anyway.
So you didn't do any work there. You were there strictly for fun?
Yeah. I mean,
They rope you into having to do some BS there?
No, I attended
Help set up the...
I attended some events and
well, that's fine.
Attended events.
I bring the fun a lot.
But you didn't have to like, hey, can you help us set up our booth?
No.
All right, that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was I mean, I hadn't been to Nashville in 7-8 years. And it is like full on modern boomtown.
Oh, like so many cranes and so much being built.
Multiple. You can build. I found out because my friend lives there. You can build. She said either 4 or 6 dwellings on the same lot as long as they're connected. So you'll see these buildings with like 20-foot long, like 1x6s, just nailed into the facade, and that's the connection. Like people are just building dwellings like as fast as they can. It's unbelievable.
You make it sound like a shanty town. Is this?
But like the buildings are really nice, other than this like piece
Weird
of wood that is
2x4,
connecting
yeah.
them. Yeah, it was a good trip. Monday Night Brewing has a spot there, and like one of the coolest buildings.
Monday Night Brewing?
Yeah, they're out of.
I
I want to say Athens.
Oh, wait, that's NBA.
Oh yeah, that's a Rashad. Yeah, they're a brewery out of Athens, I think. Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
It's in like this old textile plant right on the river that they've converted into like this pretty awesome looking brewery. Like it feels almost like a European kind of brewery.
Oh, that's cool.
Industrial, but yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about that, too. Man, so much to talk about.
I mean, but the real news.
Well,
World
hold
Beer
on.
Cup.
Yeah, so you're there. Were you there for the World Beer Cup? Did you see
No,
no. Did you judge?
Well, I always
You were
judge, but
yeah.
not officially.
Because there's some, I mean, huge news. I mean, so are we cleared for insider trading? We've been fully exonerated for insider trading, right?
I might be under some scrutiny. Eric
Okay.
and I might be like getting looked into, but I think you're all right.
All right. That's good. Well, that's for your dust coin stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. How's that doing?
Up and to the right, baby.
Good.
Volatile, but only about how much is going up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, what big news is
As we
we
knew,
told
as
you,
we already
as we
knew.
knew. Yeah,
We love to say we told you so.
and
World
we
Beer
told you
Cup,
so.
Best American IPA or something
Gold
like
medal.
that. Gold medal.
Fathead, baby.
Fatheads.
Fatheads.
Let's go.
Took the gold,
Let's
412
go.
or something entries. Number 1, Headhunter, Fathead.
right.
Would have been a great opportunity to show the new branding.
I hope they kill the new branding because you can't get rid of the brand equity you've built.
That's true.
Wait, are they really having new branding?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a new complete. They're rolling it out partially this year, and then a full rebrand next year. Not just of Headhunter, of everything,
Brewery.
the whole brewery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't need to go too much into it, but we will.
Got to.
Yeah.
It will be the number one item for many weeks on the show when it actually rolls out.
But you guys have never seen any, like, they haven't
Can't
released
confirm
No, we're
or-
talking
can't
about
confirm
like
or
what
deny.
direction do you think they're going to go?
It's the
Let's
Insiders
ask you, like,
Roundtable.
what do you think? What direction are they going to go with this rebrand?
Health and wellness.
It might need to be our first
kombucha.
video show.
Yeah.
You know, so we can talk about this. Yeah, health and wellness would be a good one if he's like more of like a, like a Zen kind of health guru type.
Right, but you got to go body positivity.
like a
so
thinner
he's
head,
Yeah.
like
Right,
throughout
thinner,
the year, the
fattish head.
fat head.
You know,
That's what I was
gets
thinking. I was
skinnier
thinking
and skinnier.
So right,
until
right,
it's just a normal head.
right. Normal head.
Same body, though.
Yeah.
Like the opposite, people lose a bunch of weight and it's like,
Yes.
your head got bigger.
Right, like the lollipop effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at first thinking they make him like wellness, like shredded, like those dudes you see on like Instagram.
Cut.
Yeah, cut. Completely cut. Huge head still.
Yeah.
But cut, ripped.
Yep.
So but then I think you're right. Just lean into it. Fatheads has gotten us this far. Morbidly obese just absolutely needs to be carted around.
Yeah.
Can no longer move under his own power.
In one of those things
Head.
from Wall-E.
Yeah.
where they're just
Yeah.
like- they're like- his bones have atrophied to the point where they can't be used anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think you're right. You just lean into it.
I mean, where do they
If
go
they get
from
rid of
there?
that logo, though, I think that's a very bad move.
Yeah, it'd be like Hoppin' Frog getting rid of the frog.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
talk about burying the lead.
Everyone,
There's another thing we got to talk about. Because Fathead also, Hop and Frog also won a gold
They did.
for their honey ale.
Their honey ale, the most hotly contested category, honey ale.
Yeah, after American IPA. I
Right.
think it's honey ale 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
1A.
Yeah, 1A. Yeah. So yeah, Hop and Frog. Ohio, baby, doing really well.
I gotta find the thing you sent me.
I mean,
I think I have it somewhere.
I forgot how
You
awesome
sent my
that
personal
Hop and Frog
Instagram, or was
logo
that?
is.
How that Hop and Frog everything is.
It's so great.
So I just want to take a moment to say, when we had Gerald on, we talked about like beers that were truly that we thought were kind of like exceptional, even amongst like just we thought were the best or excellent examples of stuff. What did I bring on? Fatheads. IPA. I was like, this is the best IPA. To me, it is the best IPA. And it's just so great. I've done that a few times in my career. I said that about, this is just me bragging now, which is fine.
That's why I'm here.
Whole Hog with their pumpkin. I'm not a big pumpkin beer guy, but I remember saying like, this is the best, this is the best. And then just the goals start coming. I was like, yeah, well, you know how it is.
Rainmaker over here.
Rainmaker. I sprinkle it in the judges who are tasting blind. I'm just like, hey, this is what I think. Keep it fair. Keep it fair. Should we see who else won World Beer Cup? Do we want to talk about that at all? Or
Sure.
Were there other awards?
We can
Those are
also
the only
talk
two
about,
that I paid attention to. There's also a charity event
Yeah, we could get to that.
That Hop and Frog is doing, where they're auctioning off a
what's it at?
A priceless item.
It's a charitable event.
It's at $100 more than you sent me a week and a half ago. But you get to collaborate on a beer with them, and you don't get, not just the recipe.
You get to collab. Yeah.
On the label design. Which
for
is
a Hop
the
and
thing
Frog beer.
For Hop and
So,
Frog beer.
guys,
Yeah,
if
but
there's any people, if there's any high net worth individuals, if we have any high net worth listeners,
who can pull $900 out of their pocket.
nothing.
It's nothing.
It's only at $900.
It's only at $900. Yeah.
So you can make it goes to charity.
Yeah, Ohio Erie Canalway.
So you can just write it
coalition.
off.
Yeah, where can these people, where can the good people, or form your own coalition to go in on it?
Yeah,
Bid
Coalition for
901.
Coalition supporting
$901 gets you this.
could get you this
And then-
opportunity.
So, like, someone
you
gets-
get 5 cases of the beer.
Oh.
You get to go to a party in the tasting room.
Heck yeah.
You get to collaborate on the recipe, but you really get to collaborate on the label design.
Amazing.
Someone can go.
I want to
in
be in the room. I want to be in the room.
This could be us. If we had started that Patreon when we said it, this is what we would spend it on.
Right.
When is the auction over?
All right, we're starting a Patreon
all
right
the money,
now.
all the money that we ever did, we just all put it
Can
into
we start a
this.
GoFundMe to see if
What
we
if
raise
we did that?
$1,000 to do?
What if we had all the money from Patreon and we put it all? I mean, that would be the most amazing thing. We took all the money and put it towards getting the Hop and Frog beer, so we could help name it and do the label design.
But you know that our label would be no notes. It's perfect. Change nothing.
Well, no, you'd have to help with the beer and the name, and then let them do something for the.
Yeah, okay, let's make a 15% barrel-aged strong ale with a frog on the label. Let's
This
go.
is what I would do.
I mean, they've made the frog like a Rasta man with dreads one time.
Like
That was amazing.
I would turn that frog into Where's Waldo, and the label would just have a ton of frogs dressed like Waldo, except one is missing a shoe, and that's the Hop and Frog.
because he hopped too hard and he lost his shoe. Yeah.
Interesting. That'd be. I would need it to be classic. I'd want it to be one single frog dressed as something.
What would it be? He's worn a
So many.
He's worn basically a tuxedo to be like a gangster.
Yeah.
He's worn, I'm sure, a Santa outfit, right?
Yes.
He's
Worn a kilt.
He's been a Rasta guy.
He's been a Rasta.
He's the list goes on.
Yeah.
I can't name all of them.
Yeah. But you could.
I could, but I won't.
You won't.
So what would we have him wear?
What would he be wearing? I think you do something like...
Dressed up like the clown from the new Beer Temple merch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could do that.
What if he's wearing a Hoppin' Frog t-shirt?
Ooh.
And then it's just Hoppin' Frog
Inception.
t-shirts all the way down.
He's had sunglasses on.
Hoppin'
I know,
Frogs all the way
before.
down.
For the Shandy one, I think he's wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think he needs to be, if they haven't already done it, Mexican lager, put him in a sombrero and a poncho, and a giant mustache.
Like a Three Amigos.
Maybe
kinda.
like
Yeah. Oh, a mariachi.
Mariachi
You're saying
band.
mariachi.
Yeah, maybe don't fund our GoFundMe.
yeah.
I'm just thinking of what they could do.
Yeah, that's one thing they could do.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Or maybe
They've probably done that, though, right?
They probably already
Like
have.
the Mexican hot chocolate version of Boris, if that doesn't have exactly what you described on it, I'll eat my hat.
What about an Italian Pilsner where he's got...
He's wearing like overall, he's got a red shirt on.
I
got
was
big old
thinking...
mustache,
He's
saying,
being
I
a
was
little
thinking
too forward with the lady
the
frog
pizza
on
man,
the,
like the pizza man, where he's got the little
yeah,
like
chef,
finger.
chef kiss guy.
Yeah, the chef kiss man, like the Chef Boyardee looking guy. Like do like
It's just Chef Boyardee.
yeah, like dressed like the one of the chefs from Burger Time. That would be a good one
be
as
great.
well.
Sure.
Yeah, Russian. Oh, he must have been a Russian Imperial store, dressed as like one of those Russian dancer guys with the giant black furry hat type.
Oh,
I
thing.
genuinely don't
for
remember.
barrel
what that
aged
one is.
Boris Royale,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
he's
Royale.
dressed as Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction.
Can I see
Oh
that?
yeah, that's a good one. Can I see that, please? Can I please see that? I
one's
mean,
amazing.
can we just ask if we did do this
gotta
to
go in
have
the
them
show
just
notes.
redo? That has to be the label. That has to be the
That's
show.
it.
They're obviously better at this than we
So
are.
good.
Please remake this.
I mean, it is so good. It's so good. I mean,
It's the best.
yeah,
Doesn't get any better than that.
it really doesn't.
I'm crying, actually.
It doesn't. It's really good.
We'll drop a link in the show notes so you can see that.
Man, that's a good one.
We're going to make the Royale with cheese, though, and put cheese in the mash.
Lactose.
Right. Yes, Royale with lactose. Cheese.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're
That'd be a
cheese-
good
we're-
one.
we're
A
cheese.
Royale with cheese.
So check out our GoFundMe. We'll link that in the bio, in the show notes as well,
Yeah.
along with the Patreon. That way we can win this finally.
Yeah. So let's see who else won World Beer Cup. Should we see?
I mean, I just want to
Yeah.
acknowledge how bad this winners list is format wise.
Format's rough.
You have to scroll through the whole thing.
Right. You can't even like
Wait,
you can't
what?
even find things really easily.
Yeah, you couldn't type like
Illinois,
experimental-
Chicago.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you can't search by state?
no.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure Roaring Table won
Yeah,
a medal.
good for them.
Yeah,
they're
They're
great.
crushing.
Did they
it.
really? They won? Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sketchbook.
So they won
Sketchbook,
didn't
Roaring
they win?
Table.
They won a
2 years in a row.
GABF too, didn't they?
Well, they won last year World Beer Cup.
Oh, that's right. We'll get to that too. So like World Beer Cups every year now. What the heck's up with that? I'm not down with
To
that.
be honest, I didn't even know it was every other year. I think that's what. I mean, the thing that's really down with it is that less people show up when it's not World Beer Cup, GAB or CBC.
Yeah.
So like to draw more vendors and make it a bigger thing, they're doing it every year.
Yeah, I
Lame.
guess like
Get rid of Great American then. I say Horse Thief Hollow one. For a
I think
Pilsner.
Pollyanna. I think.
Alvarado Street one. They're not from there. Hoppin' Frog obviously won. Who else won? We've got Roaring Table. They won silver for their alt beer, which is pretty cool. I almost thought Pilot Project, but it's Pilot Brewing.
Pilot Brewing. Is that
Pilot
Illinois?
Brewing. No,
I
it's
think
not.
Tighthead won something. I don't know what style they won for.
Man,
There's a beer that won called Red Volution, and it caused quite the celebration, I guess, at work when we were live streaming.
Wow. It's
And then a cease and desist, probably. Is that what the celebration was sending out the cease and desist?
Yes.
Yeah.
wow. I mean, Noon Whistle. Yeah, Noon Whistle won for their amber. So there you go. That's super cool. Who else that's in the Midwest? Well, Rheingeist won for Cheetah. So they're kind of blonde, kind of cream ale. Fatheads, baby. Headhunter.
Fatheads.
Boom.
Let's go. They won a couple, though. I think Foggy Geezer. Is that what that thing's called? What's that? Gogglefogger.
Gogglefogger won again?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So here you go.
They put a post up. And maybe it was just that
win.
things that have won.
Oh, okay.
So
because Gogglefogger, I think, is the most awarded hef. I was looking it up. Ever. Yeah. It might be.
Doesn't matter.
It's
if it was
very
from
close to it.
1500s or not. No.
Yes. No, that doesn't matter. We all know that.
Gogglefogger. They put a post up about winning a gold medal for Headhunter, and the first comment, other than ones that were like directed at us, saying like, "You did this, congratulations."
Yeah.
From them, thank
credit.
you, thanks to the Beer Temple.
Was someone saying, "Man, that's my favorite IPA. I wish it was still in bottles."
Oh,
it is still in bottles, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Maybe
Not
not.
according to Timmy T from Pittsburgh or wherever he was at.
Hey man, I do like a beer in a bottle. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm with you, Timmy T. I like cans too, but
You drinking a Headhunter out of a bottle?
I have plenty of times. I mean, I'm old school. I drank it before it was in cans.
Wow.
Baby. So did you. I think you're just misremembering. They won for experimental beer. Fatheads did.
Was it also
for
Headhunter?
Hopstalker.
Hopstalker. So also
Dry hop.
Yeah. It's probably like a wet hop IPA or something.
Yeah.
Experimenting with those wet hops.
Yes. I'm not seeing too many other breweries that I recognize in here.
Yeah, a lot of
though.
smaller breweries.
I mean,
which is
I
great.
take it back.
That's
There's
awesome.
plenty that I recognize, but not a lot from.
What you care about.
Yeah, Hop and Frog. Oh, I already said that one. Alvarado Street's already in there. Yeah. So good on everybody who won. So I wish instead of every year they went to like every 3 years, every 4 years.
Instead of
personally,
was it every other year before?
It was every other
You
year.
want to do
yeah.
it less.
Yeah. Beechwood won, by the way, too.
For your
Scotch
collab?
Ale.
Oh,
Oh,
Scotch
no.
Ale.
I wouldn't let them waste any to go put it. You have to submit like 5 entire cans or something. It's not going to give them that. Oh, Fatheads won another gold for Weizenbach. That Alpenglow has won a ton. That's a really good Weizenbach. I had it there. It was good. I remember, I think I texted one of you guys, like, I'm having a Weizenbach here, and it's really good.
This is the best Prussian Frank I've ever seen.
No, you've had plenty of Weizenbachs. Come on,
Sure,
man.
but like,
Maybe for
Aventinus? I mean,
yeah, of course, but
maybe for World Beer Cup they need to split it and do half the styles on even years, half the styles on odd years.
Oh, my God. Fatheads won
Again?
another gold.
Oh my God.
So they won 3 golds and a silver. They won for strong red ale. Tighthead won for they came in. They got a bronze for that.
it's tough to beat Fatheads. But
The Shoots.
the tighter the head, the lower you're going to come in.
Yeah. I have a feeling someone's just giving out awards to breweries with head in their name.
Yeah. So let's look. So they won 4 medals. They won 3 golds and a bronze.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
Wow.
good.
Pretty good.
Now's a perfect time for a rebrand. Confuse people.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, why don't we take a quick break and then we'll figure out what we're talking about next. And unless are we ready to take a break?
Take a break.
let's take a break, and then we'll come back with more of the Beer Temple podcast.
Welcome back to the Beer Temple podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike Shalau. I'm here with your other co-host, Chris Quinn of the Beer Temple, and Nick Pankey of Revolution Brewing.
I'm also
everyone
fade
doing?
masting.
Yeah, fade masting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look so natural running that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't I look at home?
You
Yeah,
feel very
like you-
comfortable. The vibes are
I
immaculate.
don't have to look at every button for a second before I push it to make sure it's the right one.
And wonder, what do you do before you push it?
Yeah, and then sometimes you wait just so Mike can reach over and
It's a very simple system, too, but I manage to mess up. In fact, you seem to know it much better than I do, yet I'm the one who always does it.
Yeah, yeah, it's easier. It's like backseat driving. We're like,
Right.
Monday morning quarterback. We're like, you should have faded the song down. But if I would not have remembered to fade the song down. I would have run into the semi.
I wish the listeners could see that it is essentially just one of those toddler toys with like 8 colored buttons and 8 sliders. Like that's it.
To speak and say, the cow says, moo.
Fade.
Yeah.
Well,
You're doing honestly, you're doing a really good job. We've recorded almost everything we meant to.
yeah, that's true. So there's a bunch that we could talk about now. We have a handwritten postcard.
Let's do a little letters.
Letters?
Let's do some letters.
Okay, we have a couple letters. We have one from Nick, who we had talked about with the times of the last call times and stuff like that. He has another half of this letter, but this one is from Nashville. I assume doesn't say, there's no return address on these things, I guess. So
These archaic forms.
Wait, how do you know it's from Nashville?
It says greetings from Nashville.
greetings
on the
from
actual
Nashville on the
postcard.
front.
Yes,
it says.
but guys, just
Could be
so
from
you know,
anywhere.
It's got to be someone from CBC,
I mean,
right?
Carol Stream is
Oh yeah,
No,
from
Carol,
CBC.
Guys, Carol Stream is stamped on the back. It came from Naperville.
No, it did. They all
could've-
come in saying that, no matter where they're from.
No.
Yeah,
No.
dude. Yeah, so many of them do. Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of them say Carol Stream.
I guess I haven't looked at the mail recently.
Oh, I thought that's from where they were sent.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think
We'll
so.
have to get to the bottom of this. If you're a mail carrier, listen to this on your route, send us
Or
an
female
email.
carrier.
Okay.
We don't discriminate.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, insiders. Pre-pandemic, the Beer Temple served breadsticks. Will they return? If not,
those were
where did they come from? I crave them. Any update on the Reyes saga? Better distro interactions? Signed, Getty.
Can I see this?
I love that guy's photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best.
So, prolific. He's been at it for a really long time, too. I mean, I think I remember seeing, Civil War photos of his.
I feel like this stamp might have been one of his photos.
Yeah.
So any update on the Urea situation?
So no breadsticks. Just you don't know about that.
Yeah, the people want to hear about breadsticks. Are they coming back?
The man retired.
The breadstick man?
Yep.
Wait, let's go further into this.
Oh, now
Does
who
he have
wants
the
to talk
recipe?
about
I'll make
breadsticks?
breadsticks.
Yeah, what's this breadstick?
So we used to
deal?
have free breadsticks, rye breadsticks, and regular breadsticks too. But the rye were where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
That
Just a guy cooking them up.
It was a professional baker. He was an old man, and he baked. He had a professional bakery, and he just baked breadsticks. In fact, when he dropped them off for the first time, because I reached out to him because I had his breadsticks at the Chicago Bra House. Used to have them, if you ever had them there.
Uh-huh.
And I asked where they got them from one time, and they told me. And he gave me a couple. He's like, it's like, what are those rye ones? I was like, pumpernickel. He's like, no, they're not pumpernickel, they're rye. I was like, okay, yeah, I want those. What else do you have? He's like, well, I have the salted ones. I was like, okay, what else do you bake? He's like, we do a garlic, but that's got a lot of, that might be a little intense for you. And he might have tried one at a time. I was like, well, what else do you bake? He's like, we could bake a different bread. He's like, I was like, he's like, no, we just bake breadsticks. That's the only thing we've baked. It's the only thing this bakery has baked for 40 years. and I was amazed and loved that. But now it's out of business. He retired. There was a fire, and I think they started to. Actually, I think it might have been there was like a partial roof collapse, is what had happened, and they were like, I think he started to rebuild it, and then was just like, screw this, I'm retiring. So
Burn it down.
yeah, he retired, man. So bummer. So no more breadsticks now.
I forgot about the breadsticks. Those
Yeah.
were great.
So,
Yeah, they were great.
Those were meals for me sometimes.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
They were really good. But now we have a kitchen opening, so
So you're gonna bake the
screw
breadsticks
those
here.
breadsticks. Yeah, we have him.
Yeah.
He's coming in to consult, and he's going to be making we're making rye breadsticks. That's the only thing our kitchen is going to make.
That'd be so.
Just rye breadsticks.
It's a great investment. You're a good businessman.
to order. You have to order them and then
but
wait.
they're still dehydrated.
45 minutes.
They're dried.
Okay. So the Reyes saga, better distro interactions.
Wait, give me a quick cliff notes of what this Reyes saga was.
Do you remember when I went on Twitter that one time before I quit Twitter again and put out Reyes by
Chris
name?
tweeted. Yeah, and tweeted like the dog drinking coffee in a burning room about how
Yeah.
How long ago was
about
this?
Reyes? I don't know. A
a
couple
few
months
months.
ago.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
then
they just went through some leadership shakeup, I know.
right. It was right around that time.
So are you taking credit for that too? Or is it-
Of course.
Just after.
Anything that changes the world that we've ever talked about.
Yeah.
Because Chris and I did it.
No, but apparently it went to the CEO of Reyes, found out about it, this tweet. Friend of the show, who will remain nameless, said that, as I mouthed it to Mike,
I didn't see nothing.
yeah, said, it went up to the CEO. But anyway, CEO didn't show up, but a couple bigwigs
The CEO of
showed
like
up.
Ray is like like across the country.
I don't know. Just the CEO of Reyes is what I was told. I don't know. They're headquartered here in Chicago.
They
so,
are. They are indeed.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's who. I don't know who the guy is.
No, he's not the CEO, but
That's not the guy who
he's
told
like
me.
that craft guy.
Oh, got it. No. Vogel is the guy.
Oh,
Jim.
okay.
Vogel's the guy who showed up. And
They were psyched about it.
they were psyched. They were happy to see me. They were happy to be there. No, Jim and I have. I like him. He likes me, I think, or he does a good job of pretending. And
Chris thinks like the waitresses like him too.
Yeah, right.
Goliath was like a big
you know who
fan.
likes me? Whenever I go to strip clubs, they love me. They're so nice to me.
Goliath was a huge fan of David.
Yeah. Yeah. Has it gotten better?
You haven't seen me
I will
tweeting
say
about it.
this. I will say this. Well, no, I've retired, which I think you've agreed is a good idea, Mike.
I had to retire a long time ago.
Yeah. I just shouldn't be on there. But
I'm gonna buy a Chris Quinn check mark, by the way, under $8.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
Yes, it has been better, but is it that I'm just paying attention more and it's always been pretty good? I don't know. I mean, I think it goes up and down with who they give you. And
And that tweet was specifically about your rep, right? And your
Yes.
rep is your access point and your, like, basically the whole understanding.
yeah,
Of how
I mean, I still have concerns about the big houses trimming their books, right? Hopefully that stuff gets picked up by other places, which seems to be happening. So, like, it looks like Rodenbach's been picked up, Oxbow's been picked up. You know, there's people who are getting picked up by other places, which is, I think, cool. And you know, those brands shouldn't be with those big houses if they're not going to be, if they're not moving there. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been
a
okay.
resounding, yeah.
Yeah, it's been okay. I'll tell you one thing.
The thing is, like, it's never amazing, right? It's always
Well,
this,
like the stuff that they do pretty darn well. Like, so for the 10th anniversary, they rented us a beer trailer, a 10-tap beer
Reyes
trailer.
did.
Yeah.
Think that would have happened if you didn't
Yes.
send that tweet?
I think they probably would have.
Okay,
I don't know.
Sure.
And they didn't give it to us. They rented it to us. But they essentially have to rent it to you because pay to play and stuff like that. But it's a very modest price that they rent it to you for.
Sure.
So that was huge.
What else are they going to do with it? Everyone else is at CBC.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I've
was
had no
Mother's Day.
complaints.
Yeah.
And
It was Mother's Day.
yeah. And usually by the time it bubbles up to me, the guys in the trenches like Max have been like really feeling it for a while, and I like overhear them complaining, and then I'll be like, "Wait, what?" Wait, and that's kind of how stuff does happen. Like I overhear it, and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's been like that." And I'm like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Like, well, because, and then I'm already gone, and I've tweeted something
Yeah, I'm
about it.
getting the oil changed. I'm tweeting at CEO of Reyes. Why you do this to me?
Yeah, exactly.
How you no care?
Why you no care? Me sad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Reyes is just such a monster of a company that it's tough. I mean, they carry Rev, and they've been a good partner to us as far as I know. I'm not really involved in that side of it, but I think now you're going to start seeing these breweries that are big enough to be distributed, but maybe not big enough to keep up with what needs to be distributed, and they're going to have to.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, I would say, like, in order for a distributor to focus on your product, you've got to be a certain barrelage,
Right.
And
For someone the size of them, especially.
yeah. So, like, is that size 10,000 barrels or is it 30,000 barrels? I don't know the answer to that, but there's definitely I would say like a tipping point for a brewery where
I think it's 30,000 now.
it becomes like it becomes too much work to satisfy the demand that distributor is saying we need. If I'm being articulate.
Yeah, well, no, I think what you're saying
the
is
economics of it aren't necessarily favorable to the brewery, right? Where you can never be out of stock, so you probably have to overproduce. You have to destroy some out of code stuff. It's a constant cycle of like.
Yeah.
And they make exceptions. They definitely make exceptions. I think the one that they will mention, and it's a great one for them to bring up, is Maine.
Yeah.
Maine does drops every once in a while, but it's so easy for them.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it comes and it goes. There's only a few SKUs, and it comes and goes on the regular. And it's world-class stuff. So, like, that is a it's a home run. It's so easy for them. It checks so many boxes. Does it make them a ton of money? No, but it makes them enough. And it's awesome. I mean, they have to. I mean, not they have to. Like, they admit, like, they like that it's Maine and that, like, that beer is great, and they distribute it. Like, they want to be doing that sort of cool stuff, and it makes sense. But if it's like slower than that,
that's a low effort beer, right? Like,
right.
When's the last time they had to walk into?
Well, that's why they
and
like to do
convince
it.
Someone that
Right.
they need
Right.
Maine
That
lunch.
yeah. Right. And that's also like and also I don't think Maine is trying to be like, well, we're trying to move a bazillion cases. They're like, no, here's
Right.
how much we have, and
Yeah.
like, oh, it's all going to be. We have 2 pallets of lunch.
And like, I wouldn't be surprised if they took on. Well, hold on. Let me back that up. Like, hypothetically, in an alternate universe, if Hill Farmstead reached out to them and said, "Would you be interested in distributing us in Chicago?" I'm not saying that has happened.
This is the insiders roundtable. You're saying,
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
this did happen.
Why did you just wink at me?
This did happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the meeting,
All right.
and it happened.
Yeah.
But if that were to happen, I would think in that situation, Reyes would basically give them very, very favorable terms compared to what they would offer other people. Be like, oh, you want to bring it in every so often? You just want to do this? You want to do that? Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it. Because I think there's so much cachet with certain brands, like maybe a Russian River too.
Like an Is was, you know,
like an Is was.
Yeah. When you have the ultimate like negotiating tactic of like, I don't need to sell you this. Like, I don't need you to have this.
But they also don't need to take it in. So at that point,
that's
it's just like
that's why they win all those.
Right. So it's like in that one, that just like they just agree to disagree and they say best of luck to each other and then they move on and it's amicable. But I do think that I do. What I'm trying to get at is I think that there are certain breweries that if they have a certain cachet that they will make some exceptions for. But those are few and far between. I would put Maine in that list.
Well, it's cachet, but it's also like it sells.
Yeah.
They don't have to do any work for it.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like it's all about that effort payoff.
Right, but it's
like,
small volume. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like
they will do small volume things that move.
That move if there's if it moves.
Yeah. Like if it doesn't
and is easy.
Yeah, if it doesn't require a, real beers like that wouldn't really require a partnership. They are, I mean, not in a bad way, but they know that they're just
a delivery service.
Yeah, they are, and that's cool. Like they don't. Maybe they give them favorable terms because they know that it's not going to be an extra burden to their staff, right?
Yeah,
it's just a pass through,
right? Just extra sales. Who do you want fatheads to come through? When they
It's a good question.
When we finally talk to them, when they finally see we're the reason that they're winning all these medals.
Now that's a very good question. One that I have
if you don't want
actually
to answer, it's also okay.
Seriously considered.
Yeah.
If someone like Fatheads were to come in, I think Fatheads is a pretty sizable brewery.
They're very big.
They're
like,
big.
Yeah, they're very big.
They're like Rev-ish size, I would guess. Maybe
they're not top
smaller.
50. They're not top 50 or anything like that, but
Right.
they're probably
Certainly top 100, right?
Oh yeah,
I have
They
no
have
idea,
to
but
be.
probably.
Yeah.
I
What's
would say
Rev? 25?
40.
40.
39?
Somewhere in there. We should remember that. We just talked about it with Josh, but Fatheads is probably somewhere in the 30 to 50,000 barrels a year range.
Oh, I think they're bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. What's Rev?
75? I mean,
Okay,
ballpark.
maybe 50 then.
Yeah.
Because I think my guess is they're bigger than Half Acre.
And Half Acre's what?
It
30?
might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is all guessing.
Sure.
So, anywho.
I wish we had a frequent guest who would like give us the number of.
Would actually know exactly.
Yeah.
Then you can make a TikTok about it.
Yes. I need.
Right.
one
Oh, I
chart.
thought you were talking about Don. Don would know exactly.
He would know exactly who worked there and
Right.
like his Rolodex. But
Should I text him right now and see how long it takes for him to get back to me?
Text both of them and see how long it gets back first.
funny.
All right. Then you guys for the next 45 seconds have to have banter that makes it sound like it's still relevant to what we're talking about. So who would they go
I'll
with?
That's why we
make
got
it-
the best on Nick Pankey.
I'll make this banter about Don. I've only met him a handful of times, but so I fly into Nashville, land at 4. Rev has this happy hour at Dicey's, which is like it used to be Parsons. And exact same time, exact same beer patio. Don is having his like welcome party there too. It was just, a
Classic.
little reunion of sorts.
Yeah.
But it was
He
good.
texted me about that. He's like, "You're at CBC?" I'm like, "No, why?" It's like, "Because this is happening." And sent me like a picture of like both of the competing signs.
Yeah.
But
He said, or Josh said, him and Don decided that like the stairs was the border or whatever. Like, they're having a good time with it.
All right. So the text have been sent. We'll see who gets back.
All right, so Fatheads.
Who would they go
distributed
with?
in
I mean, I think they need to go with not a little guy. They need to go with somebody
Right, 'cause
of decent size.
because we've already tried to get them to drop a pallet or two.
They're not
and
interested.
They're not interested in it. So they're not.
We've also asked if they want to come on the show. Not interested.
It's hard no.
Also asked if
They
we
listen
can
to
come
one-
to you and do a show. Not
Not
interested.
Yeah.
But do you? So,
But do they not know that you made them?
I mean, you know what? That's what unconditional love is.
Yeah,
That's
right.
true. It's loving without expecting anything back.
It's true.
No, we expect a lot in return. We just got nothing.
No, we're just, we're slow playing it. We're slow playing it. We know that the return. We're in it.
Yeah,
We're holding.
It's on our terms of when they say yes to finally letting us even talk to them or respond.
My terms is whenever they want,
Yeah, right.
whenever they choose.
My terms, whatever works for you.
Here's a question. A brewery similar to Fatheads, similar in size maybe, that has come into the Chicago market in the last couple of years. Like, is there a good example?
How big's Fair State?
Tiny.
Tiny.
A little. I would say
They're growing.
Rheingeist. Right?
Rheingeist is bigger than Rev, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're big.
They're big. They're like probably twice the size.
Yeah, I bet they're pushing 120. I mean,
Okay.
but that,
Not
So
twice the
who's
size,
the
not twice
last
the size of Rev,
size?
but twice the size
That's
of
a
what
very
I think.
good question. Like, is the era of that over in a market the size of Chicago?
That's a very
it's
good
like,
question.
because everyone's going local. They're focused on hyper local.
Yeah,
And it's just been a while.
the regional brew. There's like this
a
uncanny
while.
gap. It's been a while since I've been.
Because I drank Fatheads.
It
Fatheads.
has been a while. There's like an uncanny gap between like the Rev breweries and then the national breweries, right?
Yeah.
Where like Rev is like a very big local brewery, and there's only a handful of those, right? Like that's what Bell's was, and then Bell's got
Yeah,
bought
it's
out.
like, yeah, I mean-
but they were also like huge, but they were only sold beer in like the states around here. But that's not like a thing anymore, right? Any of the it's all been vacuumed up or been like stymied and kind of held down.
Yeah.
Because there's 10,000 breweries, right? And so it's hard to like you just kind of circle around to the same places you sell beer, the same people, on the smaller
The days of
genuinely,
that are over, unless there's like a personal connection. I think almost you're more likely to have a smaller brewery come in than a brewery the size of a 30 to 50,000 barrel brewery.
right? Because most of the breweries I feel like at that scale aren't trying to aggressively grow right now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Or they're doing it in a very determined
methodical,
way.
And they're trying to like aggressively, like where like smaller brewery, like we'll drop,
we'll do a drop.
200 barrels and make a bunch of noise about it. Whereas like for them to come here, like it only makes sense if it's like a regular outlet.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the only way they know how to operate, right?
Right. Like even dropping
And they're not going to drop
4 or 5 pallets one time, and then maybe you'll do it next year. Like they have no
what's the
interest.
point?
Like all the work to get that stuff done.
which is not that much work, to be honest. But,
Right, but that same amount of work could probably be spent elsewhere.
right. Our efforts
And
be
go
like
further.
selling more beer at the Kroger in Ohio is more important than like sending you 4 pallets of beer.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Or just, opening up
They don't understand that we're tastemakers. Okay.
I mean, now that they won these awards, finally, then maybe they'll understand it's because of us.
Exactly.
Do you think, like, will we have to shut the podcast down if we get a Hop and Frog Fathead collab? Like, would just be over?
If we got it, you mean? What does that mean?
It's
If
the two
we
of
got it,
the two of us win this bid finally,
Yes.
with
and
Hop
then
Frog.
pull Hop
And
and
then
Frog
say,
in.
Two
we're
of us?
we're only doing it. 3 of us.
Okay,
You're
cool.
in. We're only doing this if we're collaborating with Fatheads.
And they say okay.
Yeah.
And then what do we do? What do we
Here's
make
what
with
we
them?
do.
A Weizenbach?
Fat frog headhunter.
Yeah. Fat Bach.
Fat toad.
Hoppenbach.
Fat toad.
Alpenhop.
It's a Weizenbach.
But it has to have a
West
super
Coast. It's a
punny name.
West Coast style Weizenbach.
Like Froggy got Bach
And it's Samuel L. Jackson, Fathead Frog,
twerking.
twerking,
Yeah.
of course. If that beer comes out, we're done.
Oh.
We've done it.
The frog.
I'm
What else
never.
is there
I'm,
to do?
Nothing.
I think Iswas shuts down at that point
I
too.
think, yeah. So does the beer temple.
Yeah, we just
We're
start
like,
folding it up.
You mic drop, and then you don't even mic drop. You just
drop.
just
Yeah,
quietly. You quietly, fold it up, close shop.
Yep.
Say,
Never heard from again.
Like,
It's
like the old man,
like
the
that-
mysterious old man at the end of a movie who says, "Thank you for your time,"
Yeah.
and just magically just disappears off into the sunset.
or the meme of like, you won't know. I won't tell anyone that I won the lottery, but there will be signs, and then there's like a picture of some ostentatious thing. But it's ours is just that there's a fathead hopping frog collaboration.
Right, exactly. Should we? So last week we alluded to this. Thank you, by the way. Thank you very much for the postcard,
Yeah,
Getty.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much. I keep all of these, by the way. I have a folder, and I keep all of these letters. So thank you very much. Anyone who sends in a handwritten letter, if you want to send another handwritten letter or an electronic letter asking for some merch, say if you want Beer Temple or Was, or if you don't care. If you don't care, you're almost certainly going to get Beer Temple merch. Just letting you know.
I'll make some merch. And
Yeah. Well, you might just be on a list.
Save some glasses.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that counts. That's merch.
my own glasses
Yeah.
that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right was on them. And
Yeah,
send them to you.
exactly.
Jesus, he's blind.
But I did. Did we say? Did I say that if you were listening all the way through to the show 2 weeks ago,
I probably said
that we would send them merch?
I would. I that sounds like something I would say.
Because a bunch of
I
people
don't-
did
'cause I don't
actually
have
leave
any
reviews.
merch.
A bunch of people left reviews.
So Chris
thank
will
you.
send you merch.
Unless you specifically say you want was merch. Hint, hint.
Well, really, it would be podcast merch, right?
As long as you wear like a medium and or extra large.
Oh my gosh.
Then I got
Yeah,
three
three-
shirts for you.
3 or 4 in 3 days we got.
Right. Yeah.
The first one, Mike, was a 1-star review.
Boo.
Our first.
I told you we weren't.
I think it's our
accepting
second
one-star
ever.
reviews.
Our second ever 1-star
This is what we
review
get for soliciting
from
reviews.
Matt. Oh shoot, Matt in Nashville. Does he know Getty?
That's what I was saying. This is a conspiracy.
Matt.
Guys,
All right, Matt.
Getty is
Getty.
from
I mean
Chicago.
Getty. If you know Matt,
Getty Images.
Let us know.
If you know Matt.
let us know.
Image search.
Nashville.
Matt left us a 1-star review. Should we read the 1-star review? Do you guys out there listening, you want to hear the 1-star review?
Well, we haven't accepted it because we're only accepting 5-star reviews, but you can read it.
Here it is. It's pretty brutal. My favorite beer podcast is the subject line. The most recent episode was a marathon, but wanted to let you guys know I finished. Cheers, Matt in Nashville, 1 star. Nice. I think I've alluded to the fact that I thought that would be kind of funny if somebody did that. So,
Yeah.
cheers to you, Matt. Well done. If you want to change to a 5-star, I wouldn't mind. But if you want to
But
keep it at
also,
1, that's
don't.
fine.
Gotta
Don't-
stay humble, you know?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's not too many of those, but that's fine.
Yeah, we're not
Nick Yoder
accepting
writes,
1
I
stars
listened to the end, and you should too. So people were listening to this. And then the one's the subject of the next one from Word said, I made it to 9:01 p.m. of this podcast. Do I get a reward? 4.01 bottle caps.
Did we reference it was 9:01 p.m. when we said that?
I don't know. Whoa,
should
this
rem-
one's
we should
long.
remember what we say on
Holy
it.
cow. This next one is from Great But Not Enough. He wrote, Run to the Temple for the Top Beer Podcast. In the podcast world, there are many pretenders out sharing beer opinions. Few, if any, are more informed or more entertaining than the Beer Temple podcast. Yikes. Based in Chicago,
Yikes is your
the host and
editorial.
proprietor of the Beer Temple, Chris Quinn, together with co-host and brewing entrepreneur Mike Strong, wink, wink, will
What does that
guide
mean? I'm
you
not
through
strong.
the entire industry. Mike Strong, come on.
I'm pretty strong.
No, you know what that's from.
Yeah, I know.
They mix deep dives into beer styles with industry roundtables, top brewers, interviews, and even fun fantasy drafts of global beers. Ooh, that's the first positive we've ever gotten on one of those. So expect lots more. Unless you guys say you hate them.
People hate the drafts, huh?
I don't know if they do. I don't
I
know.
think
if
you
they
don't
do.
like the drafts.
I like them. I like doing them.
Yeah, they're fun.
With an ever-changing list of fun guest personalities, such as Nick Pankey,
Pankey.
Big Nick Pankey.
Oh, yeah.
You'll always be sure to learn while being entertained with every episode. Interesting perspectives paired with business and marketing insight equals a great podcast experience. Cheers. 5 stars.
That's pretty nice.
That's the equivalent of 5 bottle caps, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a 1-to-1 exchange ratio.
Should we look up? Should we
Change
look up
rate.
what the 10th anniversary podcast beers were?
Oh, yeah, on tap.
On Untapped?
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do that. Okay. This is going to be great radio.
We used to play this game at Was where we would all, after we finished brewing, we would drink a bunch of beers that people had given us or we'd sought out, and then say what's the ABV and what's the untapped rating.
Ooh.
Because they're like usually for the things we were drinking were about 5s, you know, like
I've heard Tavour when they're talking to breweries about like distributing their beer or selling their beer, but it's, like basically distributing for them. Straight up, we'll be like, those don't have enough bottle caps for us to distribute that beer. Oh, wow. That's cool. Don't you want someone that you're going to be working with to say that? Doesn't that make you feel like they know what's going on and that they don't suck?
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus
we have so many bottle caps;
Christ.
they've never even contacted us. So
There's no way we could get was.
yeah,
We've got tens of bottle of
I can't
caps
even get in the door.
collectively.
Yeah.
collectively across all the beers. All right, Outnumbered by Animals is a West Coast
you wanna
IPA
guess?
with Nelson
Yeah, let's
Sauvin.
guess.
He already
Can-
looked. He already
okay.
looked.
No, I
you?
didn't look.
He didn't.
All right, I'm
What
gonna
is
say
all right?
that's
What is good for this is IPA American,
What is
aka
good?
what was just golded by
I mean, good,
Headhunter.
well, look up what Headhunter is, and that's the best.
True.
I'm gonna say it's a 4.14.
Okay, what is good?
Anything over like a 4 is
4 is
really
good.
good.
Okay,
it's like
good.
that's like a
It goes to 2 decimal points.
if you want
This
Yeah.
is
if you want to nail it.
scientific This is.
You've had the beer. What
Yeah.
do you think of it?
I would probably give this a solid 4.
Just
What do you
4
think it's
flat.
got? You're looking at it.
No,
though,
I'm
right?
not.
Okay.
Has this only been available here and at the 10th anniversary?
A little bit is
Ooh.
at Beechwood.
It's a good question. So
Four
that
point-
actually
four
probably
point
I should have gone
four.
higher. I should have gone
4.4.
higher. Yeah, I should have gone way higher than that.
Okay.
But what is it?
428.
428. Right in between the two of us.
Nice.
Yeah.
414, 44. Yeah.
And then the other one is
did it.
the lager that we did.
With the Sense Day one.
Yeah, from day one.
Everyone knows lagers cannot be as good
Available
as IPAs.
Available here and at Perennial.
I've never been to Perennial, but I can. Oh, this is gonna sound bad, but whatever. I picture like the Perennial fanboy.
Most of Burke are being drank at Perennial, it sounds like.
I just picture them rating it lower because it's like a collab that isn't from.
This saw distribution. This is getting drank.
it is?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at
Okay.
it now. At someone's drinking at Daredevil Brewing.
It could be people bring it like at another brewery. It could be people like bringing it as like a share thing.
Yeah.
I suppose there's another one at Celestial Beer Works. Someone drinks it.
I'm gonna guess.
No, Indie Lagerfest. No, people are. This was
All right, so dry hop lager.
with English hops. Dry hopped with English hops.
Oh yeah, everyone's paying attention to that on Untapped. They know EKG.
It just says lager. It doesn't say dry hop lager on it.
Okay,
It just
so it
says
says
lager on the
lager.
can. Yeah. So what do you think that's going for?
Going 408.
Ooh,
I was gonna go 392.
That's probably. I just wanted to be nice.
396.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pankey takes it again.
And then
Oh, you got the first one.
Yeah, we're close. We tied.
And then we had Daisy Cutter, Chopped and Screwed, which I don't...
So your Daisy Cutter 3-6 Mafia collab. No, that's not it.
Collaboration. It doesn't really
Who was
tell.
that? Mike.
What somebody just added this one. Just a
Houston
rando
rapper,
added
Chopped
this
and
one.
Screwed.
How many reviews does it?
Only 34. This one was
that's
literally
not-
only at the.
That's
fest.
not nothing.
Okay.
That one, I'd go 4. 18. 418.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 4 even.
4, 1, 5.
Oh,
You went over, so Nick Pankey wins. And
Price is Right
finally,
rules, as always.
Headhunter. What's that? What's that?
Headhunter 377 or 364 actually. I'm going 364.
5-0.
5.0.
5.0. That's what it says.
Are you looking
here.
at your ratings or the?
No,
1
total
million
295,000 and change total. 137,000
A
uniques.
pure 5.
Yeah, it's a pure 5. Yeah. No, but what do you guys... There's 125,000 ratings. What do you think this thing is... what do you think it's rated at?
Like 368.
Okay. What do you think?
I was gonna say 3.8.
395, baby.
395. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's good.
really good for that many.
Yeah. 87 IBU
For
on
like a
that beer.
grocery store beer for most people who are probably rating
Yeah.
that. Like that's pretty good.
Whoa.
Let's
Already updated. 2023 World Beer Cup Gold Award American IPA.
Because of the Beer Temple
That
podcast.
is,
Let's
you know,
go.
Untapped. It is good that they're doing that. I mean, breweries should immediately update their thing and say that it won that, because I bet you would boost the Untapped score. When people like go to check in and see that it did it, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, and that'll get you at
Or-
least a half a bottle cap, I bet.
Probably.
Or it could work in the opposite too.
Oh, for haters. People are just haters.
Overrated.
Overrated.
What's Trumer?
Let's just read the reviews. Chris and Mike were right. Thanks, Chris and Mike. Would have never heard about it. Done it again, Chris and Mike. Mike and Chris know what's up. Wow, all of these. Just I'm scrolling and
It's all
scrolling.
5s.
Yep, all 5s, and then you
That's
go back
crazy.
to. Let me look at the ones from before our podcast ever was on the air. Let me keep scrolling.
Before, I guess, they were on
Yeah,
the air.
now it's like 3s. It's getting
Like
3s,
zeros.
2.5s, zeros.
What is this?
Yeah.
Elevated
Fat what?
brew.
Yeah.
You
Fat
even-
who?
Yeah.
More like thin heads.
Yeah. More like thin heads. Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah. That was me, to be honest.
Oh, well, that's not okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we made this beer. Everyone knows that. And there you go.
We didn't brew, but we made it.
Yes.
Award winning. Oh, whoa. Did they change the name, or has it always said that on the top? Award winning.
Mike and Chris's.
What if that's the rebrand? That just says award.
Just says award winning.
Award winning
That
on the
would be-
top.
That would be a
Full rebrand.
Full rebrand. Just like
Award winning.
I just saw the actual art for the label again, and it got me the same way the Samuel L. Jackson frog got. Like, what's happening?
Maybe he's the Rasta. Maybe this is the people who did the Rasta. Maybe if it was Fatheads who did the Rasta.
They both did it. Let's be real.
Yeah. Well,
It's like you don't have
thank
to-
you to all of the people who left reviews. And so the deal is, if you said that you made it, you get a reward.
That was a one-time only offer. By
That
the
was a
way.
one-time only offer.
But also review if you're going to give us 5 stars.
Yeah, if you give us 5 stars and then you email us, we'll throw you some merch. Is that?
Oh, okay. Maybe this sounds like what happened last time.
Five stars, credit card information.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
to the beer temple.
No, but so
website, click
far-
on the merch.
If you buy merch
Nick
from the Beer
Yoder,
Temple.
Word Kid Word, and I guess the other
are you
two
gonna
as well. Even
verify?
should the 1-star guy get some too?
Absolutely not.
How are you
We
going to
are-
verify
I said
these
we
guys?
said we were only accepting 5-star reviews.
I think you said it. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely said
All
that.
right. So Nick Yoder, word kid word, and great but not enough. If you text, or not text us,
Text.
email, electronic email us at insiders@craftbeertemple.com and give us your delivery information. We'll get something out to you.
Or we can dox like you or me and send our phone number. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
hit us up with your hottest
I don't think
takes
we'd
and-
really be doxxed. I think we might get one text
Yeah, right. You can't dox the
a
willing.
year from now when somebody's listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so yeah, those were pretty good Untapped reviews, and thank you for the
Untapped
podcast
reviews.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, for Headhunter. Yeah.
Yeah. No. For the other beers too, right? And we have no idea because both Don and Doug have not gotten back to us. They're probably hanging out together, going over data. That's probably what they do, right? They just hang out together and go over
There's like
data.
there's type.
And it's not even on like a computer screen. It's in one of those old printouts
in their
where you have
brains.
to tear like the perforated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like dot matrix.
Yeah.
No, they're like those two meet up and they're in like the precog like goo thing from Minority Report.
Yeah.
where
But they're both in very
they're both
different
like,
goos.
Black IPA will be a thing, and then the other one's like, no, it will never be a thing.
No, everything will only be in chain from now on.
Yeah.
That's where true
Everything-
pull through
if
comes.
It's not 19.2 at 7-Eleven. You can just go.
It's
out
all
and fuck
pipe
yourself.
fill.
Yeah.
It's all pipe fill. This can't be believed.
Right.
But yeah.
It's like the data shows that if there's rotisserie chicken under the same roof, your craft beer is more likely to sell.
I mean,
It's probably true though.
Boston Market is killing it on anti-hero.
Well, you could probably
Those
say
meat
that
potatoes,
because like
Boston
all the supermarkets who sell rotisserie is where you buy that rotisserie chicken. They sell a lot of beer. I want to find amazing correlations.
Yeah.
And then come to insane conclusions and get someone to actually
like
do
how
it.
you're supposed to with that.
Like rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a rotisserie chicken paired themed beer because data shows
Everywhere there's rotisserie chicken, that's like where 75% of beer is being sold.
exactly
So we start rotisserie chickens in the beer temple.
right. Hey, I will say.
Actually, that wouldn't be bad.
This
I
value,
would go for a
so this
rotisserie
value
chicken,
play
right?
Voodoo Ranger thing, high alcohol, big can,
You might think it's because of branding.
that Doug's been talking about for a
marketing.
long time, and we've been talking about too. My beer of the year last year, by the way, was sitting out at one of the softball games for the kids, and somebody ran across the street to the liquor store, could grab one can. What did he grab? He grabbed
Is
Imperial. Yeah, he grabbed it. Is was a 500 ml bottle.
You did, didn't
He
you?
didn't have. Well, I did today. I actually did
That's
today
what I'm
and brought it to
saying.
the softball game. But
Small
I'm
sample sizes.
But I'm weird. Yeah, but this guy also did, and then was like, "Crap, I don't have a glass. Crap, I don't have the bottle opener," and just it sat on the ground. But another guy who was right next to him was like, "Oh, I had one and can only, and well, I got a can, and it was the Voodoo Ranger. This guy brought. I was like, and I took note of it. I was like, okay, this guy went and grabbed one beer out of the cooler, and it was a Voodoo Ranger, which is now like that's the top, right? That's the top craft beer, right?
Yeah,
I think it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very close, if not.
I think it is.
So,
Rest in peace, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
yeah, there you go. Hey, Voodoo Ranger, New Belgium. You know, they've stayed true
To what?
to what they've always done, right? You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, Voodoo Ranger. When I was first getting into it, I remember there was like Transatlantic Creek and Voodoo Ranger, Imperial,
yeah, and Fat Tire.
and like
That was an
yeah,
amber
Lafayette,
ale. Yeah.
Fat Tire, and
They've stayed true to being a
you know,
local brewery.
Voodoo Shandy.
ESOP owned. They've really crushed it.
Yep,
I mean,
but
they have.
they've won.
Yeah, of course they.
They've won.
Yeah.
So, well, Big Nick, sorry we didn't give you too much juicy stuff to kind of really dive into, but thanks for
Neither hazy nor juicy.
neither hazy nor juicy. Anything you want to talk about before we
Dry.
get the heck on out of here? I'm drinking a Terrace. Oh, we could talk about that for a little bit, too. Whoops.
Terrace Bulba.
Talk about Terrace Bulba and how the man himself was here.
Let's do it.
All right. The man himself was here.
I like how Chris is like,
Saison
sorry,
Daddy.
sorry we haven't given you anything to talk about. Ooh, we could talk about something that
You were not here
weren't
for
here
it.
not here for.
Well, what do you want to talk about? You can pick
I'm
the
just
last
kidding.
topic, Nick.
All good. No, let's talk
Or the
about
Bears
Terrace
draft
Bulba.
picks. No.
Yeah, Yvonne was here. And he wants to be. So we had a show, Nick, where there was a guy, a Dutch beer historian, Roel Mulder, and I just pronounced his name perfectly per what he would
I
say.
think that was pretty close.
Oh, okay. Was kind of
Called him out.
calling out, right? Calling out Yvonne.
The validity of the foundational text of Saison that
Right.
he wrote.
And when Yvonne was in here last Thursday, after, talking to Yvonne about other things, I knew I was going to bring this up because I'm me.
I knew I
you
wasn't,
said, yeah,
so
you were afraid and you didn't bring it
There's
up.
no way I was going to bring that up.
Oh,
His
I
wasn't.
immediately was like, oh,
his
I'm
won't.
totally going to bring it up just because that's who I am. I was like, hey, that guy you disagree with a lot publicly? We interviewed him on our podcast.
Yeah. And
So that's basically what I
about
said.
Saisons.
Yeah, about Saisons.
And he said,
What did you say? What did he say? What exactly was it said? Can you send it to me? So now he gave me his card and was like, I want you to send me that episode and I want to listen to it. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, oh, crap, I hope I wasn't like, yeah, you know what? You are right. I always thought that Yvonne was wrong about that or something like that. But maybe I did. I don't know.
I mean, my recollection of that was that no one was really,
Talking.
no one was really dismissing anything he said. It was more just oh, this, and he was talking about how he can't prove it for these reasons. And we were like, yeah, but it's an important book and these things and that. But so we'll see what Yvonne believes about our defense of him. But
Well, he's got a new book coming out. He says there were a few things that were
2.0.
Yeah, legit. But for the most part, he has doubled down on how he feels about it. And he said, one, that he wants to hear that episode, and that, two, he wants to, assuming that he's okay with what he hears in part one, wants to come on the show and talk about some of this other stuff. So that'd be pretty cool to have Yvonne
That'd be very cool.
on.
Wait, so what was his first book?
Well, it wasn't even his book. What
It
was
was
it?
technically Phil Markowski was the author, but it's just called Farmhouse Ales. Was the book that had Saison and Bière de Garde in it together, and it kind of created the foundation for a.
But
a
Yvonne
lot of
wrote the
American-
foreword.
Wrote the forward, and then wrote the section on Saison,
Okay.
Right.
or wrote a good chunk of the section of the Saison.
And
Right.
what's his? He's coming out with another book about.
So, what do you think about Saison? What to say to you? What is the history of Saison? It doesn't need to be specific, just very general. If you could put it in to two sentences. So I'm not going to hold you to hardcore facts or anything. What do you think of that as that beer style?
I mean, I would say that it's started here in Chicago by Mike Shalau.
Yeah, right. No, for real, for real. If you could be real.
I mean, I would say it's I don't want to say farmhouse, but it does my mental image of a historic Saison
Yeah.
would be someone in the field coming
Yeah.
back in the house and
So-
wiping his brow and drinking a Saison. You
So
know?
that's basically
Yeah.
what Yvonne helped to plant the seed of that vision.
The provincial drink of the harvester.
Right. So he, I think, had a lot to do with that story being told in America.
Definitely.
Yeah. And this guy, other guy who has been on the show, was basically saying that's not necessarily true.
Well, it's it was more just it's unprovable. He was more of a we don't have all the documentation, is what he was saying. And Yvonne's much more of an oral history of of Saison.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't.
And it was his writing in that book, like there was a series of those books that was like Wild Brews, Brew Like a Monk, like all these other things, and they were very dry and technical. And his what had information, but it was more like this narrative and this like romantic thing that was like anyone who was reading those books was like, well, this is the one that's the one I'm going to gravitate towards.
I mean, that's kind of what that is really the spirit of beer, right? It's like, you know, spoken history, you know, just kind of like spinning tales and
I agree.
BSing in a tavern and
I agree.
getting the details wrong. And you were a way better athlete in high school, you know, than you really were. But you know what? Everyone's having a good time. So who really cares that, you know, like.
You know what? I did throw up on WGN. Now that I remember. Yeah, Cliff Clavin. I mean, it's all about,
It is an interesting like argument of that's a chalky pour.
I
An
thought
argument
there
of
was
like
more left.
of the documented versus the provincial life of like what the life people actually lived, right? Like the brewing on the farm probably wasn't nearly as documented as the commercial brewing. So maybe you can't, have the brew logs of England or anything like that, but you can like there's still history there, and it might not be as precise or numeric, but there's truth to it.
Yeah, they're not like claiming it on their taxes or getting a business license for it or getting a tavern license or getting any of that.
Right, there's no industry trade paper about it. It's just like things done on farms.
And I think that to a degree that still is what beer is. I think it's heavily documented now, but it's just what it is now, and we'll even romanticize. I mean, we romanticize the beginning of craft beer. I mean, we've made Sierra Nevada kind of an avatar for the beginning of craft beer, but there were other pale ales, there were other, hoppy beers out there, but it's more romantic and it's easier to categorize if you really can kind of use somebody like Sierra Nevada, who's probably, I was going to say, as good as a representative as anyone. They're a better representative than anyone, really. They're the best to represent it. They're still around. Mendocino or New Albion and stuff like that. They're not around anymore. Right. And, that's so it is still happening now. And it'll probably happen with hazies as well. It's going to be like, okay, well, whoever they decide did it, whether it was Heady Topper or Treehouse or Trillium or whatever, it came out of New England, and then something happened with it, and that story will be told in 10 or 30, 40, whatever more years, and it'll become legend, and historians will be able to go in very easily now and look at the untapped data and the pictures.
First check-in, actually, but it was clear, so they changed it later on.
That would be awesome to know. What is the first ever hazy IPA on Untapped?
Right.
Like, that would tell you the answer.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or it would probably be under regular IPA, and someone who's like, this beer is like, I don't think they finished it. Like, I think they forgot to clarify this thing.
It tastes good, but it's all murky.
Yeah.
Right.
I can only drink one.
Yeah.
And then I get really full.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Nick. I think that's just how beer, it's better that way. I think it's better to not to be a little fuzzy around the edges.
Yeah, and to not adhere so tightly to like, this is how things happened in the written down histories. That must be how it was.
Yeah.
Right? That there's no cultural aspect to it, and there's no romanticism or narrative to any of it. Just like, well, we have no brew logs from any farms, so we don't know if that...
Like Grisette, right?
Yeah.
And I've teased that, Grisette, what is Grisette? Grisette's what Corey King says it is, because he basically, or again, he's my avatar for when Grisette came back. It was this thing that Side Project did, and, it was more or less reinvented. Like beer styles have been reinvented throughout history. They've just been remade or changed or something like that. And there was a story that went along with it. Well, like the Saison was for these people, but the miners drank grisette, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. It's probably some of each, and it just is what it is now. And now grisette is an actual thing, and maybe someday they'll trace it back to whoever knows, whatever they have a data point over, and someone will say, no, somebody else was making a Belgian yeast, slightly tart, low-alcohol beer before that, and actually it never died out over here, but it actually tasted much, it was technically really a bière de garde over there. It was amber, and it was much stronger. You know, like that stuff is always going to be going on, but in the general gist of things, it's going to be like, well, yeah, Side Project came out with one. They were white hot.
Right.
And then other people started making them. And I think directionally that's as accurate as anything else, and it's a much better story. Because it's easy to tell. And it has like a beginning, and it's just finite.
And if you're someone who makes stuff or you make beer, like you choose a point in time to be like, well, that's my reference point. Right? And sometimes it moves, but like really you're just like, well, we're making beer. Well, we're not making Gruit. So some point after Gruit, we've decided that's where beer started. You know, it's like, and we're not all making lagers, so we're like, well, we're doing that, but we're all making beer. So you just kind of choose these arbitrary points that make sense to you, and you don't even really think about it. It's more just like, well, that makes sense to me, so that's what I'm doing now.
Right.
Yeah, like beer, it doesn't have to be precise. It doesn't have to, you know. I mean, I know we just talked about the award show, but there's like shouldn't be winners and losers in beer. It's like it's not that type.
No, that stuff doesn't matter. I mean, that's like
Unless
the
it's
Oscars.
fatheads.
You know, it's the Oscars. It's something that's for themselves, really. You know,
Sure.
it's like
I think at one time, medals on a label sold beer, but I feel like not anymore. Like you put a World Beer Cup medal image on your beer, and you're not getting any more sales, I don't believe.
There's just an overwhelming number of beers now that are being judged. Like, I have no idea how the World Beer Cup judges beers, but just the number that come in, it can't be like an accurate, like.
no, it's got to be somewhat luck. There's got to be some luck. I think it's directionally accurate.
Yeah.
And I think that it's, you know, but there is some luck to who is at, because it's multiple tables and you get moved along to another table, and it just has to be the preference of the people at that table.
Yeah.
And directionally, they're going to know what is to style. But then within those style guidelines, they are going to have personal preferences. And the ones that they like
Which is how
more.
it should be, to be honest. Like, we shouldn't run all these beers through gas chromatographs and say which was the dankest or which one had the best phenolic profile.
Which one was the thickest with 2 C's?
Yeah, it should be.
Thick,
Which was
thick.
It should be people tasting them and saying, you know, this tasted the best today. Like, that's good.
It's like a snapshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, you know, when these, perhaps when these awards came out, it could have promoted the idea to the brewing industry that quality mattered, to try to actually make these things clean and to submit it for judging, and I think as a way to learn and show off that you've made a really good beer and stuff like that. The days of that are it's changed. It's changed. People, if they want to know how to make a clean beer, should know how to make a clean beer at this point of all styles. But I mean, there's just so much data out there. There's so much information, I should say.
I think
out
most
there
people are
about that
making
sort of stuff.
clean beers. Like, sometimes we'll quibble with like the pursuit of the style of
I
the
don't
beer.
think that was always
or
the
whatever.
case. I mean, that was not always the case.
That was definitely not always the case. But I think more often than not, even beers that you and I don't particularly care for, they're well made. They're just not things that
Mostly,
we want to
yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of beers that's sitting out there right now that were dropped off today, because Tuesdays, they know, are the days to drop off beer. When we're done, we should taste a bunch and see if there's any that are like have flaws or just like not like not well made.
I've had like maybe one
Not
beer.
flawed necessarily,
I've had
but
one
not
beer
well
in the
made.
last like 3 months that I was like, that is a very flawed beer.
Right, but somebody else really liked that beer, right? Did you have it here?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody else liked that beer.
Yeah. There are technical flaws in beers that people can like.
Right.
But I don't even, most of the beers I drink have no technical flaws. I just might not like them.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in a good place.
Yeah, much better. Yeah. Well, for the second time, probably third, or possibly third. Anything else you'd like to say before we leave? So I'm saying that so you can allow me to then cut you off and start another topic. But
I'm good.
What if we talk about? No, I'm just
No, I'm
sorry,
good.
man.
I am good.
well, thanks, Nick. We got to have you. It's been forever, but hopefully it won't be this long till the next time we have you on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on, Nick.
Yeah.
That was great.
And anything you would like to say, Mike, in closing? Anything at all? The world is your oyster right now.
No,
In terms of what you want to say.
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all that secret stuff you can't say. We'll have to save it for another day.
None of it's for sure yet. We'll find out.
All right. Why don't you start saying it right? Just start saying it.
Well, we might do. Turn the. Yeah.
Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again.
Messed up.
Again. Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again.